At the start of last month, the government introduced what it called an immigration rebalance, including a green list, which targets professional migrants in 85 different high-skilled roles and gives them a fast track to citizenship.
If you are thinking of migrating with or without your family, you now have more than enough options to choose from. In today's video, we are going to be talking about this particular country where you can work for just 2 years and have the possibility to obtain a permanent residence. But before that, I would like you all to watch this.
Michael Wood is the new immigration minister after the Prime Minister announced a cabinet reshuffle this week. But the change comes at a critical time in the COVID-19 recovery, as New Zealand loses more people than it gains. Statistics New Zealand says Aotearoa had a net migration loss of almost 9,000 people in the year to the end of April. Erica Stanford is National's immigration spokesperson. Kia ora, welcome to Q&A.
Good morning.
You surprised by those numbers?
No, I'm not surprised at all. They're very shocking.
We've seen some significant changes to policy settings over immigration in the last few months. When do you expect that net migration loss will become a net migration gain?
I think we're in this for the long term. This is the first time we've seen a net migration loss since 2011, since the earthquakes, right? And I think we're going to be in this for the long term. And the reason being is because there is a global war on talent. So every country in the world is after those same amazingly talented migrants. And we are not putting ourselves in a position to be able to compete with the likes of Australia, Canada, the US, the UK, to attract the best talent. So I think this is going to be a trend for a long time. Not only not attracting migrants, but not being able to retain Kiwis in New Zealand.
My name is Ness Queen and you're all welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're looking for content on migration to various countries, either through work or school, then you're on the right channel. On this particular platform, we also share information on scholarship, conferences, living abroad, lifestyle, fashion, nursing, and health. If any of these sound interesting to you, please go ahead and subscribe to this particular channel and also hit your bell notification button so you never have to miss any video from me.
Nurse Queen.
New Zealand is currently facing a major crisis after they lost so many lives during the COVID-19 pandemic, and this has actually caused them to open their borders to immigrants. They have recently launched 3 new residence visas with the possibility to obtain a permanent residence after just 2 years of work. These 3 visas that have been launched, I would normally call them the fast-track visa. The IELTS test is actually not a major requirement. The reason is because there are other ways you can substitute for this particular IELTS test, and also your experience of work is not really accountable, which simply means even if you have just 1 day of work experience, you can apply. You are eligible for these particular visas. That is why I call these 3 visas the 3 fast-track visas. There are thousands of professions that are actually in their own shortage occupation list. In this particular video, I will cover up everything you need to know about this particular visa. So please make sure you watch this video and make sure you pay attention to every details mentioned in this particular video. All the important links, I will either drop them in the description box below or on my Telegram group. So do well to check the description box or my channel description in order to contact me directly on Telegram. Don't answer anybody in the comment section that is not from me. The start date to one of the visa type is actually 5th of September 2022. So this is actually what you don't want to miss. And please, this is a disclaimer. If you have any questions or any doubts, do well to seek professional advice, because this particular video is not aimed at advertising any migration agent or representing any migration expert's advice. So please do well to seek your own professional advice from an immigration expert. The 3 new residence visas that has been launched are straight to residence, work to residence, and we have the last one, which is the highly paid skilled residence. All 3 visas have 3 main requirements or 3 major requirements. The first one is you must be 55 years old and below. The second one is you and your dependents must actually meet the required English language level. And the third is you and your dependent must actually have good health and also have a good record, that is no criminal record. Let's start off with the eligibility criteria of these visas. So let's start off with the straight to residence visa. So in order for you to be eligible, your role must be on the tier 1 of their green list. You must meet the special requirements on the list of your role. And then lastly, your role must be full-time. In order for you to be eligible for this straight to residence visa, You must have an employment from an accredited employer. They also have special eligibility criteria which you have to take into considerations. And also what I'll do is that I'm going to pin this particular link in the description box below so you can start applying for this straight to residence visa as from the 5th of September 2022. For the work to residence visa, they also have the eligibility criteria, and that is you must be employed in a role on a title of their green list. You must meet the specific requirements on the list of roles, and you must have worked for at least 24 months. Remember, all employers must be accredited. You can apply for this particular visa from September 2023. So please go to this particular page and also check each visa type, the green list roles, and the qualification requirements. The third visa type is actually the highly paid residence visa. And for this particular visa type, the eligibility criteria are you must have an employment in a role that is paid at least twice the median wage, and you must have been working for 24 months in New Zealand in a role that has been paid at least twice the median wage. Let me take you all back to the major requirements, like the general requirements required of you for all three visas, and let's explore everything in detail. So the first one will be evidence you are in good health. If you are applying for a visa to travel to New Zealand, you need a proper medical examination or a chest x-ray. The application form you complete will tell you if you actually need to provide a chest x-ray or a medical examination. So do well to check this particular link and read everything on your own in detail. Let's move over to character and identity. Before you get a visa or before you enter New Zealand, either for visit, for studies, for work, whatever reason, you must be of good conduct. If you have any criminal history, it could risk your application and it may be declined. So you need to provide a police certificate to show your good conduct, depending on how long you intend to stay in the New Zealand and for what visa you want to apply for. Let's move over to the English language requirement. Now, the good part about New Zealand is that they actually need you to prove your English language knowledge. So you need to prove a test. Now, here is the thing. If you have IELTS, it is actually good for you. But if you don't have IELTS, there are other exams that you can substitute for this particular IELTS. So there is actually a table to list out all the exams that can actually substitute this IELTS test. Now, another good news here is that if you don't have access to write this IELTS test, you can of course pay for the IELTS test upon applying for your visa. And then once you get into New Zealand, you can now take an English language program. You can now study English language while you are in New Zealand. Now, you and your dependent actually need to prove this particular English language requirement. So, if you're booking for this particular visa or any of this particular visa, if you don't have, or if any of your dependents don't have, you can now pay for the English language lesson while applying for your visa. Another good news is also for those who are from English-speaking backgrounds. So you can actually prove that either you did a 5-year study in English language or you have done something that has to do with English language either through your work or through studies, or maybe you lived in a country that they spoke English and you can actually prove that. If that is done, then you don't need to provide any IELTS or other requirements, or you don't also need to pay for this particular English lesson while applying for your visa. So that is one thing I love about this particular country and all their procedure. So it is very easy for anyone to apply for your visa once you get a job from an accredited employer. Their procedure is very easy to go with. For the purpose of this particular video, I wouldn't want to make it so long. So please do well to check on my next video on their shortage occupations list, accredited employers that are actually employing at that time, and also dedicated websites where you can search for jobs. I hope you actually enjoyed watching this particular video. So please do well to share this video, to like, to comment, and also most importantly to subscribe to my channel. Also press your bell notification so that you'll be the first to be notified each time I upload a new video. I love you all so much, and I'm going to see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.